When I was 3, my parents divorced. It really affected me at the time because I really missed my dad. What I want to share with you here is how this experience of mine has made me and will continue to make me a better dad. Welcome to Diligent Dad. My name is Andrew and I'm here to support you in your early steps of fatherhood. So whenever I was 3, my parents split up. From what I understand, it was a fairly unfriendly separation. And my mum and my sister and I headed back to Northern Ireland to live closer to her extended family while my dad and his new partner stayed in England. So my sister and I didn't see much of my dad apart from a blockbuster 2-week holiday every year, as well as we were speaking to him about once a fortnight on the phone. I really missed having my dad at home, especially for a little while after the annual holiday. And his presence, or his lack of presence in the family home, certainly influenced the young man that I grew into. And has really now that I'm a dad myself, influenced the kind of dad that I want to be. I want to share with you today 3 major learnings that I've taken away from not having a dad at home while I was growing up. I want to share those with you now. The first thing, and it's super crucial to me, I've made a very firm decision. I want to be present at home with my kids every single day that I possibly can. Okay, now I've had a number of different careers which have been exciting and profitable, really suited my earlier life, and I really enjoyed parts of those careers. Firstly, there was work in the army. Super exciting, loved many aspects of it, but the fundamental bit was that every now and again, about once every 2.5 years, I would have been expected in the army to go away on 6-month operational tours, missing whole big significant proportions of my children's growing up. And to me, that's just unacceptable. That did not fit with my values and what I wanted for myself and for my family. After that, I worked on the oil rigs, which was some sort of rotation on there, away for weeks at a time, at home for weeks at a time. But the fundamental thing was that I had zero control over when those periods of time were away. Yes, they were predictable, you knew a year in advance, but you had no say really whether it was going to be you on the rig for Christmas or you're back-to-back, or you on the rig over your kid's birthday or you're back-to-back. And for me, I just did not fit with my model, because I think the presence of being at home every single day with my kids is worth more than any sort of satisfaction I would have got out of those careers, or any profitable or any extra money that I would have made by being in those careers. I made the choice to be at home. It's certainly one of my key values, and it's one that I'm very pleased that I have followed through on. And now I got myself a career where I can be at home for some period of time every single day, pretty much. Secondly then, I have decided that I will never ever give up on my family. As long as I am in control of my own choices, I would never ever walk out that door with a suitcase packed, because the impact on my kids would just be so significant, okay? Such that even talking about the idea of leaving home now, I haven't experienced that with my dad at home, just raises the emotional level in myself right now. So I would never ever do that, no matter what happened at home. As long as nothing illegal took place, I'm sure it wouldn't, okay? I would never ever walk out. I have a good marriage now, but no matter what happens, the one that probably is most common is that someone has an affair. Well, if my wife had an affair, I've made the very definite decision that would not be enough for me to pack my bags and walk out the door. I would stay, I would work it out, because that is more important for my kids than any other personal needs that I'd be satisfying by walking out the door. Now, I can only talk with the information I've got right now, clearly, and emotional states will obviously come into it. But I'm very clear at this stage now that would be my choice. I'd be very determined to follow through on that, no matter what happened. Thirdly, and finally, the significant value of father figures. Now, I didn't realize it at the time. I just thought I had these uncles who came and stayed with us and came for dinner and took me to their house and we watched a bit of sport or whatever. I just thought, oh, they must like hanging out with me or something. I didn't really think about it. But what I realise now is that my mum and the extended family made sure that I had good father figures around me at home, and other guys who I could develop a relationship with, a trusting relationship with, who would help to show me what a good dad and a good husband and a good uncle looks like. Okay, so I didn't have that single figure at home, and I sometimes wonder what would be different. I'm not saying like I got the best out of the situation that I possibly could have done. I didn't have a single father figure. I had a number of different father figures who are still highly, highly influential in my life right to this very day. Speak to them this week. Okay, and they still look out for me and still look out for my family. And I'm truly grateful for everything that they do for me and for the family. I guess an advantage from having a number of different father figures is that I've seen in maybe a bit more detail than would be normal. I've seen what a husband and what a dad looks like when they're performing in the day-to-day life of those roles. And I've probably taken more from them than I actually realised that I have. I'm sure that the greater majority of those behaviours from those role models has been entirely positive and good for me and good for my family. So the value of father figures, all that said, and yes, I had different father figures, and yes, I never actually lived in the house with them. All that said, now I have decided very, very much that the value for me of being at home with my son and showing my son what hard work looks like and letting him see that every single day, and showing my son what bad moods look like, and he can see that, hopefully not every day, but he sees that those are a real part of real life. And all the other aspects of being grown up and living in the real world and everything that's required of it, being there and being present every single day to show my two sons that is a super valuable aspect, and it's something that I think about every day. Am I presenting to them the best version of myself and the best version that I would want them to grow up into be? Because that's what they're going to do. Whatever they see from me, they're going to grow and develop towards that in their own lives. Okay, especially in these formative years up to the age of about 5 years old. Now, I hope that's a useful perspective on my thoughts on fatherhood from the point of view of a son of divorced parents. I would add a few caveats, which is that back in the 80s, whenever my parents divorced, they did the best that they absolutely could. So there's no sense of accusation or blame in this. They had much less information, much less support networks available back in those days. So they did the best that they could, and I'm grateful to them both for everything they did do. I'm especially grateful to everything that my mum did, digging blind every single day to pull things together for my sister and I. She did an absolutely sterling job, and I'm forever grateful to her for that. You've been watching Diligent Dad. I'm Andrew. Hit subscribe and the bell icon and you'll be notified when I'm dropping new videos every single week. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and see you again soon.